Hello everybody, welcome to my first Wordle strategy video. This is called the sacrifice guess. Now before I get started, I need to say something. This is not a low budget video. This is a no budget video. So if you're coming to this video looking for something with flashy special effects and sound effects and editing, you've come to the wrong place. But if you're looking for some information that will help you, beat that family member or that friend at Wordle or just improve your score a little bit, then I think you've come to the right place. So you need to be patient with me. I'm working on no budget here. We're filming with a cell phone, but we got some good stuff to teach you. So let's get started. Okay. So just so you know, this is my key. When I circle a letter, that means it was a green hit. So that was correct letter, correct position. When I underline a letter, that's a yellow hit, and that means correct letter, wrong position. And then if there's nothing, then that means it's a gray hit. So let's look at my first guess one day, tears, which is a word I like to open with sometimes. Maybe not the best word in the world, but it's certainly a good guess. Okay, so on this particular day, I got a yellow hit on the T and the A and gray on ERS. Okay, so let's see what I did next. Okay, look at that. I got match, and I got 4 green hits, which means it is a word that starts with something, and then it is ATCH in that order. Now we're pretty close. So maybe we should guess watch, or patch, or latch, or batch. Maybe you've been in this position before, where you find yourself here, and what you do is you just start guessing these words, and then lo and behold, you were so close, but then you strike out, and you fail that day, and your friend gets it in 4 guesses, and you're like, damn it, that's not fair. How was I supposed to deal with this mix-up, this situation where it could be any, and I just have to guess? So that's the strategy for today. We're going to talk about using a sacrifice guess. A sacrifice guess is where you do not attempt to guess the real word on your next guess, but you attempt to eliminate as many letters as possible in your next guess. So let's take a look at a little theory here. If we guess the word whelp, W-H-E-L-P, we have a few possibilities. Number 1, if we get a green hit on the W, then that means we know the word is watch. If we get a yellow hit on the L in whelp, that means we know the word is latch. If we get a yellow hit on P, then we know the word is patch. Now on all of these, we are going to get a yellow hit on that H right there because we already know there's an H in position 5. All right, that's what it says over here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. Getting used to this. So we're going to get a yellow hit on the H in whelp no matter what. Now, if we don't get any of those 3 hits, we're going to get an H-only yellow hit. What does that mean? Well, that means it's either hatch, latch, or batch. Okay, process that for a minute. Make sure you're convinced of that. If at any point here I'm going too fast, you should rewind the video and watch and then think about what I said until you agree with the statement. So if we don't get the green W, the yellow L, or the yellow P, that means it's either hatch, latch, or batch. And in all of those cases, we're going to get a yellow H. Well, okay. This is what actually happened right here. I got a green hit on W, and I got watch in 4 guesses. So that was pretty good. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. But that wasn't guaranteed to happen. So here's what I could do. I could just guess hatch and hope that's it, and then maybe latch afterwards and then batch afterwards on guesses 4, 5, and 6. So if I do that, my probability of succeeding is I'm going to be successful on guess 4 a third of the time, 5 a third of the time, or 6 a third of the time. Now, just for clarity, this is assuming it didn't actually happen like this. This is what actually happened over here. We're going to pretend that I only get this yellow H hit. So now we're in this situation right there. Okay, so now what I do? Do I just guess these 3 words in a row and hope one of them hits? I could. I don't want to do that though. I'd rather get a little bit more consistent. So if I use another sacrifice guess and I guess lambs, Now, don't worry about that S. The fact that the S is dead from tears is irrelevant. We don't care about the S. But what the lambs does is it uses that L and that B in it. And it could be any other word with an L and a B, pretty much. And if I get a hit on L or B, I know it's latch or batch, respectively. If I miss on both, then I know it's hatch. So my probability distribution actually looks like this. It means if I guess lambs on guess number 4, I'm not going to win on guess 4 at all. But on guess number 5, I'm guaranteed to win. Either I'm going to get the L or the B hit, and it's going to be latch or batch, or neither is going to hit, and I'll know it's hatch. All right, let's take a look at another sacrifice guess. This was another user's attempt on the same word. So they opened with raise, and they got this. Okay, now they went to could. Now, we'll talk about this theory in another video, but notice how they got a green hit on this A. That doesn't mean you have to put an A in slot 2. In fact, you probably shouldn't. When you get early green hits, you should abandon them temporarily because you already know that they're there and you want to use that position to guess another unknown letter. So when you get an early green hit, you probably don't want to continue with it. And this user is smart in doing that. So they went with could, and then they went with synth. Now, we're not going to be analyzing these early guesses. We're going to be analyzing their sacrifice guess that comes up in a minute. So they go synth. And then they get hatch. All right, now look at where they are. Question mark ATCH. All right, what does that leave? It leaves these 5 words. Okay, and again, the only reason hatch isn't on this list here is because they've already guessed it. So you don't need a word that has a B, L, M, P, and a W. You don't need to do that. In fact, there's no word that has those 5 consonants. That's a 5-letter word. But a perfect sacrifice guess is going to have 4 of them. So what did the person do? They guessed blimp. B, L, M, and P are used. So what happens is if you get a hit, you'll get either a green hit on the B, in which case it's batch, or you'll get a yellow hit on L, M, or P, in which case it's latch, match, or patch. And if you don't get any of those, which they didn't, as you can see in blimp, all of the letters are gray. I didn't underline or circle any. So they missed on everything, so they know it's the only letter that they didn't use. And so the word was watch. So in conclusion, when you're in this type of a situation where you're really close to the word, but there's a lot of possibilities, don't strike out. Don't just go bing, 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 and start guessing all those words, because the math is against you. And a smarter opponent, if you have that family member who's a little bit more meticulous and methodical, they're going to get this and you're not. You might get lucky and you might get it, but in the long term, the math is against you. So use a sacrifice guess and try to do something like blimp here or whelp. Now, whelp is, I analyze this situation a lot, and I don't think, now maybe you can correct me in the comments, but I don't think there's a better sacrifice guess, because I had to try to figure out something. Well, maybe I could have done blimp. Actually, yeah, I probably could have done blimp here. I didn't think of blimp at the time. But blimp would have covered the B, L, the M, and the P. So I probably should have done blimp right there. You see that? And if blimp, now, okay, let's say I had done blimp here instead of whelp. And let's say blimp whiffed completely. That means we know it's none of these. It's not B, L, M, or P. All right? So we know it's not any of those if blimp misses. Well, now it's only watch or hatch. So what do you do here? Do you use another sacrifice guess? No, you do not. Because if you use another sacrifice guess and you guess a word like house to see if you can get a hit on your H, well, if you get the hit, then you know it's hatch. But if you don't, then you know it's watch. But in both cases, you're getting the word in 2 guesses. When you are down to a 50-50 and you've exhausted other possibilities and it's a true 50-50, you should guess here. You should guess either hatch or watch. You should not use a sacrifice guess when there's only 2 words remaining. Anyways, I hope you found this helpful. Maybe my video is counterproductive, because if I help you beat your friends or your family members, then you're probably not going to tell them about this video, in which case I don't gain popularity. So maybe my entire life paradigm needs to be rethought. Anyways, if you found this helpful,